A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke, chapter 19, verses 41 to 44. The passage is taken from the Message version of the Bible. When the city came into view, he wept over it. If you had only recognized this day, and everything that was good for you. But now it's too late. In the days ahead, your enemies are going to bring up their heavy artilleries and surround you, pressing it from every side. They will smash you and your babies on the pavement. Not one stone will be left intact. All this because you didn't recognize and welcome God's personal visit. The Gospel of the Lord.
Reflection according to St. Luke chapter 19 verses 41 to 44. The Visitation of God. Evangelist Luke wrote the Gospel 10 or more years after the Roman armies destroyed Jerusalem in the year 70. He intends to convey to his readers that the destruction was not a punishment from God, but the result of their refusal to obey God's command to love. Jesus wept over Jerusalem because God's chosen people failed to recognize God's visitation. The Jews did not recognize or accept Jesus but instead regarded him as a heretic. They believed they had good reasons to reject Jesus because he disagreed with their understanding of the law of Moses. In explaining the gospel, Pope Francis suggested that Jesus wept as he experienced what his own parable describes. The master of the vineyard sends his servants to his tenants in order to ask for the fruit of his vine, but the tenants beat the servants and even killed some. Finally, they even killed his son. Jesus is the son of the master of the vineyard, whom the Father sends, but soon will be despised, rejected, and be killed. In John's Gospel, we read, "He came to them, and they did not accept him, and the light came, and the people chose darkness." Pope Francis explains that, what causes pain in the heart of Jesus is this story of infidelity, this story of not recognizing God's embraces, the love of God. This drama of refusing to accept God's visit is repeated daily, says the Pope. We can ask ourselves, do I know how to recognize the time in which God visits me? How prepared is my heart as I await the visit of Jesus? The Gospel today is a reminder that we can fall into the same sin as the people of Israel, not knowing the time of God's visitation in our lives. The Word of God invites us to examine our conscience. Has the Lord visited me today? Did I feel inspired to follow him more closely, do some charity, and pray a little more? Jesus wept not only for Jerusalem, but also for all of us, giving his life to enable us to recognize his visitation. We will never know whether or not Jesus is visiting us if we do not pay attention to our hearts.